Some truths are too heavy to speak aloud. Some stories live in silence, not because they are shameful, but because the world isn't always kind to the truth. They told me I would regret it, that I would never smile again, that a part of me would die that day. But what they didn't understand is that a part of me had already been dying for years. This isn't a story about tragedy. This is a story about survival. A story about choosing yourself, even when the world begs you not to. Because abortion didn't end my life. It saved it. We often speak about choices as if they are clean, neat, simple, as if they live in tidy boxes with clear labels, right and wrong. But real choices, the ones that matter, they are messy, painful. They live in the gray, where clarity is a luxury and peace is a process. The most important decisions you make in life are the ones that tear you in two. They leave bruises. They leave silence. They leave you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering if you will ever feel whole again. They demand courage when you're already broken. They ask for strength when even breathing feels like a burden. And sometimes they require you to become the villain in someone else's story, just to be the hero in your own. Because this world rarely rewards women who choose themselves. It tells us to be soft but unbreakable, to give endlessly but never need, to nurture everyone else's dreams, even if it means burying our own. People don't talk about what it feels like to wake up every day with a weight you can't name, to carry a fear that tightens around your ribs like a vice, slowly, until breathing feels like a burden, to open your eyes and already feel like you've done something wrong, before your feet even touch the floor. They don't talk about the pressure that builds in silence, about the guilt that crawls in before dawn, about the shame that doesn't wait for judgment. It moves in long before the decision is made. They don't talk about the way your body becomes a battlefield, even though no one else can see the war. The way every smile feels fake. The way the mirror starts to reflect questions instead of a face. They don't talk about how society demands women be soft but strong, selfless but unshakable, giving, nurturing, sacrificing, even if it means bleeding quietly behind closed doors. They expect you to be everything to everyone. A daughter, a friend, a lover, a saint, everyone, except yourself. I was 22. My world was already breaking apart. I was studying full-time, working nights, living paycheck to paycheck. No support, no partner, no guidance. And then, 2 pink lines. I remember staring at them like they were a death sentence. Not because I didn't love children, but because I couldn't love myself yet. And how can you raise a life when you haven't even learned how to stand? Rewriting courage. There's a lie we tell young women, that motherhood is always the right path, that sacrifice is strength. But what if strength is saying no? What if courage looks like walking away from what could be, for the sake of what must be? I booked the appointment in silence, told no one. I walked into that clinic with trembling hands and a breaking heart, and I walked out, not with relief, but with a second chance. Some people will say, "You chose death." They'll look at you with eyes full of judgment, as if grief and love cannot exist in the same breath. But they won't see the nights you spent awake, the silent battles, the ache in your chest that didn't come from loss, but from knowing the life you were losing was your own. Because that day, I didn't choose death. I chose life. Not the one growing inside me, but the one I had buried beneath fear, silence, and survival. I chose the version of myself that still had dreams, that still had breath, that still had a voice. The version of me who had never been given a chance to live without shame. And for that, some will call me selfish. But they weren't there when my world was burning. Real-life story 1. Jordan. Let me tell you about someone else. Her name was Jordan. She grew up in a strict religious household. When she got pregnant at 19, she was told she had to keep it. That this was her punishment. Her destiny. She married the father. Dropped out of school. Worked 2 jobs while he disappeared into addiction. By 25, she had 3 children, and no future. She told me, "I love my kids, but I hate my life. I never had a choice." Her voice haunts me, because I did have a choice, and I made it. I don't owe anyone an apology for that. Society praises mothers who suffer in silence, the ones who give up their dreams, who never complain, who carry the weight of the world on their backs and smile through the pain. But women who choose themselves, who speak up, step back, walk away, they're called selfish, cold, heartless. Why? Because self-sacrifice makes others comfortable. It fits the story we've been told, that a woman's worth is measured by how much she gives, not how much she grows. But choosing yourself? That's dangerous. That makes people question everything they've buried inside their own lives. Their unlived dreams. Their silent regrets. And not everyone's ready to face that kind of truth. People said I'd feel empty. But I feel full. I went back to school. Graduated top of my class. Got therapy. Built a life. Not because I was lucky, but because I was brave. That bravery wasn't found in the moment of choice. It was built slowly, day by day, in the quiet moments when I doubted everything. Real-life story 2. Selina. Selina is a psychologist. You wouldn't know it, but she had 2 abortions before age 25. She told me, "Every time I help someone who says I saved their life, I remember, I wouldn't be here for them if I hadn't been there for myself." We never truly know what we preserve when we protect our own future. You might be saving a teacher, a therapist, a leader, or the only person who can break your family's generational pain. We talk about potential like it only exists in the unborn. But what about the potential of the woman? Her dreams? Her health? Her soul? Why are we so willing to sacrifice one for the other? When was the last time you made a decision purely for yourself? Not for your parents. Not for your friends. For you? If you can't remember, maybe it's time. Abortion isn't a story about death. It's a story about reclaiming life. It's not about ending something. It's about choosing what deserves to begin. And no one, not a stranger, not a politician, not a church, has the right to make that choice for you. If you made the choice and still feel haunted, hear me. Healing isn't linear. Some days will be strong. Some days will ache. That doesn't mean it was the wrong choice. It means you have a heart. Regret and peace can sit side by side. Healing isn't forgetting. It's forgiving yourself for surviving. If you're standing at the edge of an impossible decision, know this. You are not broken. You are not evil. You are not alone. You are complex, beautiful, whole. And you have the right to choose your own path, no matter who tries to silence you. Years from now, when you look back at this moment, may you not see an end, but the beginning of everything. Because abortion didn't end your life. It might have just saved it.